How you beautiful people doing out there today? Welcome back to my channel. It's a Sewed Up Sunday, and on my previous videos talked about doing borders. So I finished the borders on this one. I got my borders put on this one. I finally finished one of the Valentine's Day ones that I was doing so I could have Valentine's Day quilts. So I finally finished that. Well, hello, ma'am. Want to say hi? Want to say hi? This is Dirty Lily. This is the Lily from the Lily Pop Love. What you doing, ma'am? Okay. I love you. Go play with Poppy. So, I just finished those not too long ago. Got it up here and I like it. I did find me some music to listen to. Apparently, I did not know that my friend had background music, and she is so if you want to just listen to some music in your background, she's Calming KMC. I'll link it down below. So that was my borders for this one right here. So now I want to do the borders. This one was the It Takes Two quilt pattern, which they just put the white around and did the binding. I added some other colors around it. This was in the 2022 Cupid box. And I wanted to get some Valentine's Day stuff done. So now, y'all probably ain't gonna like how I do my borders. And that's okay. To each his own. But I don't know quilt math, and I'm not very interested in learning. So I have enough numbers to deal with at work. And that's probably why I don't want to deal with no more numbers. I just want to sew. So when I do my borders, when I put on my borders for my quilts, I basically just take whatever I want and I go around it and make sure I have enough material. Then I sew it on, and usually I have enough material. It's just how I do it. I'm sure, and sometimes I pin, but sometimes I don't. So now I'm just gonna get some material. I did just get this honey bun. That's why I keep these jelly roll strips that I have, so that I can just add them around my borders to add my borders to my quilt tops. And so I talked about, in my other video, I talked about having so many projects and not finishing them. And I know somebody suggested that I do a lot of stuff that I'm just not going to do. Because to me, this is my hobby. And I feel like if I do all that stuff, then it's not a hobby anymore, and it becomes a business, which it would be a fun business. I can't say I would never try to have a business doing this. I would love to own a quilt shop, and I would love for that to be my job, and I would love to sell fabric. I mean, that's a dream job right there. But that's not happening right now in my life. So, I have a full-time job, which is no excuse. I understand. But I do have a project. I do agree with the project hoarder. The project hoarding part. I do agree with that. And there might be some boxes that I cut back on. I might cut back on some boxes. Especially some that the fabric, which is one of the main draws for me, is the fabric. And if I don't like the fabric, I mean, it doesn't excite me if I don't like the fabric. I mean, I understand they're projects and they're good projects, but I'm not real good at, if I don't see it in a picture sometimes, I'm not good at, picking different colors. Sometimes I am, sometimes I'm not. It just depends on what mood I am in. And I think that's okay. I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. But I like going at my pace. I do need to work on the quilting aspect of it. I do need to do that. And I'm actually quilting one right now that I got it on there. I'm almost finished with it. It's a Valentine's Day quilt. I'm almost finished with it. So next year I'll have plenty to decorate for Valentine's Day. Let's see, I got that one done. Let's see, I got this one done. It's just a table topper. I got that one done. A little table topper. They come in the Sweetwater project box. And the quilt that I'm quilting that's actually the bigger project that's in that box. That Sweetwater project box that I have, that I love. I love that box. And that's one that I'm going to keep. I'm liking the Quilted Cow subscription box. I like the idea of the Open Gates quilted subscription box. I like the idea of it, but I'm having a hard time justifying paying because I purchased these myself. These aren't coming from someone giving them to me and me reviewing them. I'm purchasing these boxes myself, and I can't see spending $50 a month on another project box that, let's get one. I'm not digging the fabric. I've tried it. I got another one coming, and I feel like that might be my last one. Because I really like the woman. I mean, they're really cute projects. But, I don't like the fabric. And that's, like, if I don't like the fabric, that's 80% of why I want that box. So, I think that's $50 I could save to do all these other things that I have, all these other layer cakes and all these other lists of quilts that I have that I want to make. That could be paying for backing on these quilts that I have all the rest of the stuff to do. Let me turn my light on right here. Didn't turn my light on. Sorry about that. So that will just leave me with the Quilted Cow, which it's probably in the price range of the Pre-Cuts quilt box. And I I used to get the pre-cuts quilt box. I stopped getting it because it was like, I mean, it was almost always poppy cotton, which I like poppy cotton, but, and she does make her own patterns and stuff that are really, really, really cute. So I did like that. I like that a lot. But the Quilted Cow versus the pre-cuts box, to me, you get a lot more stuff in it. You don't get as much fabric because, I mean, in the pre-cuts quilt box, you do get a whole layer cake or a whole jelly roll, that quarter bundle or whatever she's doing for the month. But I wasn't liking the patterns, and like I said, I'm a visual person, so that means a lot to me. So yeah, I know I guess maybe I'm finicky, and that's okay. It's my money. I can be finicky with it. And you can't really see in that video that I uploaded. And this all came about from watching Crafty Quilting and Designs. I really like her. I can't remember her name, but I like her. And she was talking about buying stuff you don't need. And I buy a lot of stuff I don't need. So I think I can cut down on a subscription box that I don't need, which would be the Open Gates quilts. Because, yeah, I'm saving projects. I am saving projects, but I like them to be able to do in my spare time when I want to do them. I'm not a person that just gets to not work and sit here and do projects all day. So I like keeping them, so when I want to pull them out, I pull them out. So that's why I've decided to only get the subscription boxes that I love. And I love the Sew Sampler, and I love the Sweetwater Project box, and I'm kind of starting to love the Quilted Cow. So there you have it. That's what I'll be doing. Keeping the ones that I love and not doing the ones that, like I said, they're great. If I had the time to really think about and be creative with my different color choices, I'd probably keep them, but I don't do that. I buy them for you to do it for me. You're supposed to do it for me, that's why I buy them. Okay, so I'm going to put these borders on, and I'm going to show you how I do my borders. And I don't know if you guys do your borders like this. I don't know. I'm sure that y'all measure and all that good stuff. Lord bless it. I don't. I just overlap. I put them up here. And I see how many I need. And I overlap. See that? Like that has the selvage on it, so I overlap. And I'm basically just making sure that I have enough fabric to do my borders. And plus I have strips in there of little pieces that I can add to it. Like if this one doesn't seem to be enough, I can add. I've got strips already cut that I can just add to it. See, like this strip right here, it's just a little strip. I can just add it right here, and that's enough for that one right there. And that's how I do it. It might not be right, but it covers the amount that I need, so I don't even need that one. So that's enough for that side. I got enough for the top. I need some for, let's see, probably got a strip in here for that next one. I need a little strip. Here's a little strip. And I'll cut a strip for this, and I have some for that. And that's plenty. So I'll put my top on first. I put my top and I put my bottom on first. And then I just take the I take the rotary cutter and the ruler and cut it equal on the side. That's how I do it. For some reason my chair is getting stuck in holes and it don't want to move. So I've been watching, have y'all been watching the, bless his heart, that missing little boy, Sebastian Rogers? Have y'all been watching that? That is just so sad to me. There's apparently an issue with the family. I guess the mama and the stepdaddy not liking that. And this is all according to JLR Investigates, because I watch him and I've been watching the lives of them searching for that little boy. They were out there yesterday in Hendersonville, Tennessee, and he was doing a live. JLR Investigates. I'll link him down below. They were doing a live and they come across something out there in them woods. And then all of a sudden, they were like, okay, the dogs was down there. It looked like this one dog alerted. You know, I don't know any information. I'm just repeating what I saw on the live yesterday. If you don't know what it is, it's Sebastian Rogers. He's a 15-year-old autistic boy that went missing in February. And under very odd circumstances that he went missing. Apparently he, from what I've watched, and like, I am no means saying I'm an expert on this subject or know all of what's going on. Apparently he went to bed that night, and when the mama went to wake him up for school, he was missing. I don't know all the details. I know that a lot of people's giving them parents the mother and the stepfather, they're giving them a really hard time. My thoughts on that is, they're saying, well, they're not doing this and they're not doing that, and if it was mine, I would do this. Well, hindsight's 20/20, or when you're not in that situation, of course, oh, well, I would do this and I would do that. But once you're actually in that situation, I don't know what I would do. I would like to think I would do some certain things, but I have also watched some crime shows where the cops and everyone thought, remember that it was a lady in California that got kidnapped, and the man, her boyfriend, said that these people come in with masks, a person come in with a mask on and kidnapped her out of their house, and nobody believed this, her boyfriend, and everybody thought the boyfriend did something to her, and come to find out it was a serial rapist that had been in the area and did exactly what the man said, and the police and nobody believed him. And everybody was, blaming this boy, and it come out to be true. The lady come out, the man actually felt sorry for her and brought her back, and then everybody was like, well, it's a hoax, it's a hoax. Well, everybody knows what to do with the devil till you got him. So, I mean, I just have a hard time saying I would do this, I would do that. When, what would I do? I don't know. I've never been in that situation, and I would never be in that situation. But I don't know what the cops are telling these people. I'm not there. I don't know. But I know they're giving these people a hard time, and I'm sure they're going through a hard enough time themselves. If it comes out that they did do it, well, then by all means. But if they, at this time, that the speculation, if I was that mama, and as bad as people are about speculating about things, I don't know if I'd want to come out of my house. I mean, I'm having to deal with my kid being lost, and then everybody blaming me on top of it. You'd have to put me in Whitfield. I'd have to be on so many drugs just to get through the day, waking up my kid gone. I would think I would want to be out there. Okay. See, this is how I put my borders on. That's how I did it. I just put it on there. But to me, it's just, I don't know. Well, hello, Miss Poppy. Hello, puppy girl. Unless, and now it's come out that someone was saying on another YouTube podcast that the neighbor is coming out and saying that he was having an affair with her. Well, that don't make you do something to your youngin'. I mean, if that was the case, there'd be youngins missing all over the place. That's nothing new with people. That's just people. So, I mean, that doesn't make you get rid of your youngin'. I don't know. I don't know enough to say one way or the other. I don't know these people. Maybe it's people that know better than I do. I just have seen on TV so many times where people have judged people so harshly, and then it come out to not even be true. So I'm not big into judging people. I get mad about the way people act sometimes. I do get mad about that. Do I think they should be out there looking? Well, yeah, but again, it's not. Does it look bad? Yeah, it looks bad. Bless his heart, that poor daddy. He was on, Nancy Grace has a YouTube channel. She's not one of my favorites, but she has a YouTube channel, and she had the boy's daddy on there, Seth Rogers. He is very upset. And the last thing that, and he is scouring all the towns, everywhere, been looking for that baby. And, you know, speculation can be a bad thing. It can be a good thing. I mean, it's just, I don't know. I don't know what to think. I guess I can't comprehend, in my mind, not knowing these people. And I have a hard time thinking that someone would do harm to their kids. But when I see that they do, it very much upsets me and infuriates me when people do harm to kids. So, I don't know. I just, right now they're out there looking again. And then, Lord, that Riley Strand mama, oh my goodness. My heart goes out to her. I don't know what's going on over there in Tennessee, but I mean, it's everywhere. It ain't just Tennessee, I'm sure. But I know JLR Investigates had put on his page that the stepdaddy and the stepmama, not the stepmama, it's the mama and the stepdaddy is the Proudfoots, and then the biological daddy is Seth Rogers. And JLR Investigates put on last night that the Proudfoots are wanting to sue the biological daddy because he's out there searching and it's making them look bad. Well, you're responsible for your own actions if that's true. You know, and here I go speculating, but I mean, he said he confirmed it. I mean, if that's true, you're responsible for your own actions. You can't sue somebody for making you look bad. That don't even make good sense. I don't know. Crazy people. But, I mean, just like, you know, what was Elizabeth Smart? She got kidnapped out her daggone window, didn't she? By crazy people. I mean, there's just so much going on in the world nowadays. It's just hard for me to speculate. Yeah, they say 80% chance it's a family member. Okay. Well, that's a 20% chance it's not. I don't know. What do y'all think? What do y'all think about this? Would you be speculating, saying this? Is it just me not wanting to think that the parents have done something to their child? Is that being naive? It's probably being naive, isn't it? It's just me not wanting somebody to be hurting their kid. I don't know. It's just, bless them. But, I have heard from a good source. I have family in Tennessee. That boy was not like non-functioning. He understood people. So, but would he be gullible enough to, I mean, if somebody come up to try to get him, would he be, like if they said, oh my God, come out here and help, there's a puppy, we need your help. I mean, it's just, I can think of so many scenarios that a child, gullible, all children are gullible, could fall into. I mean, even as a kid myself, I would have been kidnapped if my mama hadn't worked in law enforcement and raised me to be, if somebody tries to get you, you run to the next house and you pretend it's your house and you act like you're going in that house. That's how my mama raised me, because she worked in law enforcement and she's seen all the bad stuff. And there was a car that come up while I was walking home, because that was in the 70s, and kids were everywhere. There was kids everywhere, but I happened to be walking home, and there was a old car pulled up beside me and had two guys in the front, and I was a little girl. I was probably somewhere between 6 and 8. Pulled up beside me. Hey, you want some candy? There was 2 of them in the front and 1 of them in the back. And the guy in the back was hollering out, hey, come here. You want some candy? You want some candy? Well, if my mama hadn't taught me that, I'd have went up to that car and ain't no telling what happened. I hollered, no, this is my house. I'm going home. And I took off running, acted like that house was my house. And I thought, Lord, if don't nobody answer this door, these people's going to come back and get me. I was scared to death. I was scared to death. And so that was in Florida. And my niece, when she lived in Jacksonville, a guy grabbed her and tried to pull her into his truck. Because y'all know all the crazies lived in Jacksonville, especially, Florida, especially Central Florida. It's like every serial killer that was alive would eventually move to Florida. And then the kids, the neighborhood kids happened to see, and they were outside, and it was some neighborhood kids that were boys, and they come running and screaming and hollering and scared the guy off. And that happened to her twice. She was a crossing guard. She was probably 9, 10 years old. I mean, I guess we just had to learn to fend up for ourselves. But if you don't know and you're not taught, you're not aware that there's people out there that can hurt you, would you just go off with them? I mean, there's been people take kids right out their bedroom, right out their window. So, I mean, but I know he's a 15-year-old boy. But these kind of people are so good at manipulating kids, and they're so good at coming up with reasons to make kids believe them. And nowadays, I mean, it's not unheard of for kids at school not to like you, and they try to hurt you. Not saying any of this is happening. I'm just saying there's so many scenarios that could happen that I mean, it's just, there's too many scenarios. And so if you don't grieve right, if you're a parent and you don't grieve right, if you don't do what, everybody's not the same. Everybody does not grieve the same. There's some people that they get in a bad situation, they start laughing. It's nervous laughter. It's just nervous laughter. And they don't mean to be laughing, but they can't help it. So, I mean, unless you've gotten, you know, I mean, it does look bad, though. I mean, everybody's out there searching for your kid, but On the other hand, let's say you're a mama and you've lost your kid. Would you, yeah, you'd be looking all over for them, but they're looking like they're looking for somebody that's already been hurt and passed. It's like they're looking for a body. I hate to say it. It's not like they're looking for a live child. So, would you be able to mentally take looking for your child's body? I mean, I feel like I would be telling my husband, you got to get out there. You got to do something. I don't know that I can emotionally take that. But, I mean, I might be just the opposite and going on every single neighbor's door and being like, I'm looking in your house whether you want me to or not. Where's my kid? I mean, I don't know. I don't know. That's just crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy world we live in. No, and then me and my husband was speculating because there was a podcast last night on YouTube I was watching, and I can't remember the name of it, but they were going as far as to show the scratches on the stepdaddy's arms from an interview that he did with somebody. Let me go back and rewind this. But it was an interview, and it had this stepdaddy did have scratches on his arms. What are you supposed to do with that? And apparently they said their puppies had did it, that they had just clipped their nails, and that's what caused the scratches. Well, if I heard right, the man wasn't even around there. Like, he works off somewhere. Doesn't he like work in Memphis? Because JLR done went down to that man's work in Memphis. I tell you, that little man's got some balls, I guess, because you know, you start messing with folks' family like that, though, they get a little upset. Like, if you had all that going on, your child's missing, now you got a man down there at your job saying that you did it. That causes people to react. It's going to be a reaction. You know? I just don't like... I mean, if you knew everything the cops knew, the cops haven't arrested them. You are supposed to be innocent until proven guilty, which, you know, it could be years before they can try to prove anybody, you know, guilty. Or say they did it or come up with evidence. But just like in the Casey, is it Casey Anthony? No. Well, the Casey Anthony, she did get rid of her daughter, and she was only a few miles from their house. That was crazy. That was just... She didn't care nothing about that youngin'. There's some people I don't think should have youngins. But I mean, that girl had a mama and daddy she could have gave that youngin' to. Oh, makes you wreck your brain, don't it? And then us as human beings in our imaginations, they can get a little imaginations. They can go wild. Your imagination done went wild. I don't know. I just don't like. That's just like with the Ruby Frankie. I was watching that too, and all the evidence has come out on that woman. Oh, mercy sakes. Now, my thought on that is I'm going to tell my thought on that because that woman's already in jail. She's already been found guilty. She's guilty. So is the other crazy lady. Now, to me, in my head, that woman, Ruby Frankie's blaming it on that other woman. Ruby Frankie already had it in her to do that to them youngins. She was already starving them youngins. I mean, how are you going to sit there and say, she's got to take her own lunch. She's 5 or 6. She has to pack her own lunch. Are you nuts? How is that little? And then the teacher calls and says, you need to bring your child some food. That's her responsibility. She has to deal with the consequences. There are consequences for kids, but it goes age appropriate. I wouldn't believe that would be age appropriate for your child to sit there hungry in school and can't learn what she needs to be learning because your mama won't get off her ass and bring her some lunch. What? I done got in a mood for watching this stuff. I gotta quit watching this stuff. I'm not a happy-go-lucky person right now with all this craziness. I think they should do to them women what they did to them kids. I really do. I really do. I think they should go to prison, and they did go to prison because they were found guilty. And I think that they should do exactly to them what they did to them youngins. And she needs to quit trying to blame it on somebody else that this woman made me do it. Because I tell you what, any crazy woman come up to me saying you need to kick your husband out of the house. First of all, my husband wouldn't have did it. He'd have said, no ma'am, I pay these bills. I'm not going anywhere. You want to go somewhere, go yourself. Second of all, if you'd have told me to do that to my youngin', I'm not a trusting person, I guess. I don't just go with whatever somebody tells me. Just because you tell me don't mean I'm going to go along with it. I just never have. I guess I think for myself. Oh no, look what I did. I sewed that on backwards. Do you see that? I sewed my seam on the front. Is it just one seam? Ugh. Well, it's going to have to be on the front, and we're going to have to just quilt it down. See, I done got in a bad mood watching what all these people are doing to their kids, and I'm like, it hurts my heart for kids. I get upset about kids now. I just get upset about kids. I just can't. I mean, kids are vulnerable. We're supposed to protect them. That's our job as parents and guardians. They're little. They're innocent. Or they should be. Because you're going to have to grow up and deal with the world. Let them be innocent as long as they can be. That's how I did mine. Which everybody don't agree with. But, I mean, innocent to the point where you still have to tell them, hey, some people's not as nice. And you always should come to your parents to find out if it's something you should be doing. But I was raised with a mom in law enforcement, and so that's probably where I get my skepticism. That's probably exactly where I get my skepticism. So I think we should talk on a lighter subject because this is getting me all fumbuzzled. This is not a happy topic. Whew. Get me all upset about kids. If you knew my family and you knew what I've said to teachers and anybody else I thought was trying to harm my children, you would understand. If you're not going to take up for your kids, who is? I don't like seeing people bully other people, period. I guess that's why I have a hard time thinking that you would do that to your own child, but people do. People do. I think one of the scenarios we thought about would be like, okay, if that woman was having an affair with a neighbor, I probably shouldn't be saying this, because it's speculating. But you just try, I guess it's just trying to wrap your head around what could have happened. You know, you go through, did a youngin' lure him out, and then he got lost in the woods, and the other youngin' ran off, and then the youngin's lost in the woods. You know, did he see an animal outside hurt? He ran outside with a flashlight to help the animal. But we was thinking, well, and this was because they were saying that the lady was having an affair, allegedly having an affair with, all this is speculation, don't take me for real, and he had been around that boy. If that man come home early and found his wife over there at the neighbor's house, and a commotion started happening, and that boy was trying to protect his mama, and something accidentally happened. That's the only way I can wrap my head around somebody hurting their child. Other than Ruby Frankie, because you already had that in you. You already had it in you to hurt your kids before that woman come up. But did something accidentally happen? Was it an accident? I don't know. Happy Palm Sunday, everybody. Happy Palm Sunday. Happy Palm Sunday, Angela. Happy Palm Sunday. This is not a topic to be discussing on a Palm Sunday, is it? I have a friend, I have two friends that have autistic children. And they're on different levels. And that makes it, you know, harder. You got to protect them more. Heck, you got to protect them from people at school. And that's with just anything. It's just, oh goodness. I'm glad I grew up in the era that I grew up. I'll just say that. I was born in the 70s. I was raised in the 70s. And teenager, I was in the 80s. Now, it wasn't much. I mean, because at that time I lived outside of, I've lived everywhere. Not everywhere, but a lot of different places. My mama was a gypsy, I think. She had to be in my mama as much as we moved. But I mean, it was you had to watch out for yourself then as a kid, because yeah, you could do more, but that was Wayne Williams. Was it Wayne Williams in Atlanta? That was during that time was on the news. He was like picking up all the little black youngins running around. I mean, I think he was picking up little black boys. And then when I lived in Florida, I remember my mama coming home and there was some serial killer that had buried a bunch of people in his backyard. I was looking for I can't find it. So, I mean, you do have to teach your children it's not all good out there. And that's horrible to have to teach your children, but you have to. But even when I lived outside Atlanta and we did a field trip to Piedmont Park in Atlanta, and this was in the 80s. We did a field trip. It was 79, 80. Whenever that Wayne Williams was running around picking up kids, we went as a school group to Piedmont Park in Atlanta, and all of a sudden we had to get on the buses, and in a bus you can see out the windows, and there was a man had grabbed one of the chaperones that was one of the kids' moms and threw her in a van. And as kids you had to sit there and watch this man beating this woman in the back of a van. And then the cops showed up and they were shooting out. The guy tried to take off, and the cops shot the tires off. Shot the tires on the van so it would blow the tires where he couldn't go. And they finally got the van pulled over and got in there, got that woman out. I mean, when you're a child, that's not something you'll ever forget. So it's just, I don't even know. There's things that happen out there with people. I've just seen too much happen with people to know that, yeah, it could be them parents, but it could also be other scenarios too. Like, and they've moved on to a different area today. So are the cops just letting them move on to a different area so nobody knows what they found over there? Because apparently, from what I watched live yesterday, it was live. These people come across, they had them Malamute dogs out there. They're supposed to be cadaver dogs. So I heard, allegedly, and they come across a soft spot that didn't have any leaves, and they saw some blood and some blood and tape. I don't know what kind of tape. And then the park was temporarily closed, and nothing's come out. Which I think if the cops did find something, they're not going to tell nobody. I don't think they're going to tell nobody. I mean, they can't operate and do an investigation letting everybody know updates. It's not going to work that way, because whoever did this, whatever happened, if he accidentally ran outside to help a hurt animal and got lost in the woods, if there was foul play, they're not going to tell you, because they're going to watch the behaviors of who they think, of what evidence they come across. They've got to watch people to get more evidence. And if they know everything that the law's doing, how are they going to build a case? You can't. They can't. Well, they need to tell us. No, they don't. They don't need to tell you anything. Actually, that's police work. That's their jobs. That's not our jobs. That's their jobs. I don't know. I'm upset about this, people. I'm just upset about it. I don't even know if I can let this video go out today. I feel if I lived in that area, I'd be helping trying to search too, though. But, like, I don't know. I've just seen a lot of bad in my life, and I know it's not always parents. I've seen bad things happen to my friends from people in the police department. I don't know. What do y'all think about this? Am I just crazy? I'm just thinking crazy. Uh-oh. I don't like that. Just trying to get it back on track, because it went off track. I just don't like to think parents would do something to their child. And I know they do. And you know, there's a lot of YouTube videos. Oh, there's red flags. What is a red flag? So you're telling me you've had this happen to you before, and you know the feelings that you go through that this has happened to you, so you can judge people's judgments on how they react. I mean, I know there's red flags. I really do. Like, you know, they'll say, what do? They'll talk about them in a past tense because they know they're not there. I don't think I've heard her talk about him in a past tense. And when is it okay to say that? After they've been gone 2-3 years? I mean, I don't know. It's just too much. I gotta quit watching this and just listen to my friend's calming channel with the calming music. We were supposed to talk about like, do y'all guys get subscription boxes? And if you do, and I like to get my subscription boxes, I don't feel like I should have to do them right when they come. I do them when I want to. But it is becoming a hoarding problem. Do y'all do y'all's right when you get them? Do you even get subscription boxes? I like getting them because it's like a present in the mail. I like the stuff that comes in it. The stuff that comes in it makes me happy. Some people get, I guess, makeup boxes. And when I retire, I'm going to have plenty to do. I'm going to have plenty to do when I retire at the age of 85. It's looking like. Let's sew it up today. What a thing to be talking about. This went off the rails, didn't it? I am interested to know what y'all think about all this. But I do feel like that I'm going to I hate this turns sideways when the quilts get bigger. I think I'm going to cut out the boxes that I don't love, that are not, I'm going to say, not that I don't love, but are not my style or right for me. Do I think the boxes are great? Yeah. I mean, they're fine. They're great. And at one time, I did think, oh yeah, let me get one of these party boxes and then I'll learn how to sew. I'll learn how to sew other things, because, you know, I taught myself from a Bonds and Porter DVD and YouTube just how to quilt, period, and that's probably why I put my borders on like I do and don't know quilt length, but that's okay. I'm fine with it. But I like getting on. I like it. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. I mean, do y'all feel pressure to have to do them right then? Do you feel pressure to have to get your quilt tops done right then? Do y'all feel pressure some kind of way like that? I mean, wouldn't that take the fun out of it if you felt pressure? Shouldn't it be something that's your hobby? Or, I mean, I can understand if it was your job and you was making money on it. And people do ask me if I sell my quilts. I don't. I think I do them okay. If somebody wants me to make them one, I wouldn't even know what to charge. I feel like I do them okay. Does that look okay to y'all? Is it horrible? Considering that's the first time I've done it, I think it's okay. Okay, so now I have to put on, how long have we gone? Over an hour. So now all I have to do is put on my blue borders, because I've already picked I want the blue borders. But since I've racked y'all's brain all crazy today, and we're going on over an hour, I'm going to work on putting my borders on. And come back when I have a more lighter topic to talk about. Because I just wish I hadn't watched that before I started, because it's just got my little brain just going. Just going. Thank y'all for coming, sitting, and sewing with me, and let's sewing it up today. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Happy Palm Sunday. Happy. And y'all come back. Bye-bye.